Alright, so we are going to be moving on to chapter 3, which is going to be about triangles. Today we're going to work on classifying our triangles, and then we're going to add a little bit of algebra to that. So when we are classifying triangles, there are two ways to classify triangles. First is going to be by their angles. Second is going to be by their sides, and we'll cover that in a minute. So when I'm classifying a triangle, I'm going to look at their angles. So this one here, I have 3 acute angles. So acute, that means they're less than 90 degrees. And if all 3 angles are less than 90 degrees, this is going to be an acute triangle. Okay. Going on to my second one obtuse angle. Obtuse meaning greater than 90. Okay, and you only have to have one angle that is obtuse for it to be an obtuse triangle. Third, we have one right angle, and that right angle means it is 90 degrees. Exactly, and if we have one right angle, we mark with that little box. This is going to make this a right triangle. And then lastly, if we have all 3 of our angles congruent, meaning the same measure, then this is going to be an equiangular triangle. Equiangular. Equi meaning equal, angular, all angles are equal. Okay? So for numbers 1 through 5, you're going to use the diagram to classify each triangle by its angles. So we're going to look at example 1 together. So I have triangle CDE. So C, D, E. So looking off the bat, I don't know what this angle is, but I can assume it's probably an acute one. Don't know what this angle measure is, but I can assume it's acute. Then I have this box here, which tells me that that angle is a right angle, 90 degrees. And if I have one right angle, then it's going to be a right triangle. Alright, so next we are going to go on by classifying triangles by their sides. So first we classify by their angles, now we're looking at their sides. So in this first one, I have 3 congruent sides. So congruent meaning same measure. So all 3 of these sides are the same length. If I have 3 sides that are the same length, it's going to be an equilateral triangle. If I have 2 sides that are the same length, one side that is not the same length as those 2, it's going to be isosceles. And lastly, if I have no congruent sides, so all 3 sides are a different measure, this is going to be a scalene triangle. So for numbers 6 through 8, we're going to use our diagram and classify each triangle by its side. So looking at number 6, I have triangle JKM. JKM. So this larger outside triangle. So I have this side here, KJ, which is definitely not going to be congruent to JM. It's also not going to be congruent to KM. And then JM is not going to be congruent to KM. So if all 3 sides are a different length, it's going to be a scalene triangle. Alright, and then going on to numbers 9 through 14, now we're going to combine the 2 together. So we're going to classify it by its angles and its side. So first we're going to start with the angle. So on number 9, I have this little box here, which is going to tell me that that's a right angle. So right off the bat, if I have one right angle, I know it's going to be a right triangle. And then I'm going to look at its sides. So these little tick marks here are going to tell me that those 2 sides are congruent. So if I have 2 congruent sides, it's going to be isosceles. So this is going to be a right isosceles triangle.